how the kitties did. It's pretty cool.
Well, you're gonna have the cats are pissed off now.
I know.
They'll be happy to see her for sure.
They'll be crying at me. Let's see about my girls. Did the chairs move and everything? Huh? Did they? How are you? Was that a wild ride? Yeah. Was that crazy? Everything's intact, huh? You okay? It was a little wild. We're at the Chateau Casino in Marysville, Washington. Nice little surprise on July 5th. Out our back window. Last night was a little obnoxious. It went till what, midnight? A little too much. But this one, it's only like 10 o'clock, so I'm not mad. But
10:30.
10:30, I guess. But cats were kind of freaked out for a minute. Are they done? Or?
And just when you think they're done, they just keep on rocking more and more.
Crazy. Oh my gosh. That better be the finale. After a couple of very late nights due to the fireworks, we definitely needed some rest and relaxation. So we spent a day out by the lake and went to our favorite restaurant in the area, Emery's, and we just were able to enjoy ourselves and watch the sunset. The next day was our anniversary, so we decided to explore Woodenville, Washington. We were able to go to different wineries and distilleries, and to say that we had a great time would be a complete understatement. Alright, so it is
What's up?
it's our 4th anniversary, and we just got some tasting, actually private tour of
Not sure if you can
Chateau
hear us
Saint
because she
Michelle.
tends to cover up the microphone.
Oh darn it, I did it
It's our
again.
4th anniversary. We're out at Chateau Saint Michelle Winery, and she's going to get a little bit of footage for you because
I've
she's
had a
going to
little bit of
grab
vino.
the phone
Just a little bit of
and she's
vino.
going to show you some stuff.
Yeah.
Our bottling line, and tomorrow it looks like we'll be bottling the Convey Chardonnay. And you can see the bottles truck along there, and they go into that white room right there where they're filled. And they loop around after they get their cork and their full and their label. And over here you go into a box and out on the pallets, and that's where they are sent away. Our Columbia Valley line is our biggest tier. It's the wine that's most widely distributed, and so it goes everywhere. So the filler and the cork happen there, and then it comes around here. And this is where the foil goes on, right there. And then the labeler And then the little blue box takes a picture and makes sure that everything's as it should be, the label's not crooked. In eastern Washington, because the 46th parallel around the world goes right through the Columbia Valley, which I'll show you on here, and the Bordeaux and Rhone areas of France.
Oh, really?
And it turns out that all the great grape growing and wine making regions of the world are always on the same parallel, on the top of the world and on the bottom of the world. About 50 years ago, we call this our throwback wine because it's the label that looks like 50 years ago. But my husband calls it throwback because he can throw this one back.
Cause everybody's talking about my top pants. About my top pants. I got my top pants on.
Ding!
Our bourbon is aged for 5 years in heavily charred barrels. It is an all Washington spirit. We get all of our grains locally in Quincy. That is our farm right there that we age. We age our barrels on and we get our grains from. Arnie's our farmer. Our bourbon is a mostly corn spirit. This is what we have inside it here. It is 72% corn, 22% rye, and 6% malted barley. And you are going to get quite a bit of sweetness of this, like creme brulee, vanilla, caramel. Enjoy. Alright, so our rye is very similar to our bourbon. We age it for 5 years in heavily charred barrels. It's another 90 proof spirit, but it is 100% rye, which is quite unique. The flavor profile is going to change quite a bit on this. It's going to be spicier, it's going to be earthier, with quite a bit of honey, but look for cinnamon, clove, things like that in there. And then we fill up this alcohol receiver here in this tub twice a day. It's getting towards the end. Matthew's checking to make sure the tails, oh, he's probably shutting it off there. He's checking to make sure that it's not getting too funky towards the end. The tails smell like themselves, so you can tell through tasting.
Alright, so this is our port finish bourbon. So this is the bourbon that you tried, but is finished in a port cask for an additional 6 months. Gives you that little bit of like fruitiness that kind of complements the corn sweetness. And it looks really cool. It's like a dark kind of like cranberry color by the time we're done.
The next day, we were able to get an upgrade of a truck for our loaner. So that allowed us to be able to leave the casino. So we decided to head up to LaConner, Washington. On the route, we did find this little hidden gem, which was overlooking the Samish Bay. And it was on the Campendium app. So we stayed here for a night. It was an incredible view. One of probably top 10 of places that we've been. And we really enjoyed ourselves here before we headed to LaConner.
So we are overlooking Samish Bay this morning, getting ready to leave. And what we've noticed is that there is quite the oyster farm here. You see the line right there of where it goes back into the ocean, but then you can see the perfectly formed blocks right there going out that way. Pretty amazing. Some major oyster farming going on up in her.
We spent a few nights at Thousand Trails campgrounds. While we were in LaConner, Washington, we were able to explore the town as well as have an entire day out on Whidbey Island.
Sometimes you just gotta pull off the road, relax, and listen to the wind blowing through the trees.